Live from New Delhi, you're watching the India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next hour. In a power-packed schedule for the day, Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate the 9th edition of the India Mobile Congress in New Delhi, also set to launch key projects in Mumbai, boosting infrastructure. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on a two-day India visit, economic and security cooperation on the agenda, to attend the 6th Global Fintech Fest in Mumbai, along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Impasse remains on Trump's Gaza peace plan as Hamas says it's ready to reach a deal, but conditions remain. Talks to continue on Wednesday as well. And the Indian Air Force celebrates its 93 glorious years of valor and excellence. Salute to the brave hearts for their unwavering dedication and service to the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the India Mobile Congress 2025 at New Delhi's Yashobhoomi Convention Centre today, marking the beginning of one of Asia's largest technology and innovation gatherings. The four-day event is being organised under the theme Innovate to Transform, highlighting India's commitment to leveraging innovation for digital transformation and societal progress. The India Mobile Congress 2025 will showcase the latest advancements in telecom and emerging technologies, bringing together global leaders, policymakers, industry experts and innovators. More than 1.5 lakh visitors from over 150 countries, 7,000 plus global delegates and 400 plus companies are expected to participate. Over 1,600 new use cases across areas such as 5G, 6G, AI, smart mobility, cybersecurity, quantum computing and green technology will be showcased. The IMC 2025 also underscores international collaboration with delegations from Japan, Canada, the United Kingdom, Russia, Ireland and Austria participating in the event. So this is India Mobile Congress 2025, which will take place at New Delhi's Yashobhoomi Convention Centre today. It marks the beginning of one of Asia's largest technology and innovation gathering. The four-day event is being organised under the theme Innovate to Transform. Indeed, India's Akshay Dongre joins us from the Yashobhoomi Convention Centre in New Delhi. Akshay, India Mobile Congress is Asia's biggest technology event. What can we expect from the 9th edition?
Well, what we are expecting right now is a collaboration among hundreds of countries. In fact, about 150 countries are going to participate. There are several 100,000 participants that will be coming in. As far as the event today is concerned, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to inaugurate the India Mobile Congress, and this is going to be one of the world's biggest, event where people from technical field, experts in technology, especially in telecom sector, will be converging at the same spot, and will be sharing ideas, sharing technologies, signing collaborations with each other. So it's going to be a mega event as far as telecom sector is concerned. About 7,000 global delegates are coming. About 1.5 lakh visitors from about 150 countries will be taking part in this. About over 400 plus companies are also expected to participate, with over 1,600 new use cases across areas such as 5G and 6G technology, AI, smart mobility, cybersecurity, quantum computing, and green technology are going to be showcased as far as the India Mobile Congress 2025 is concerned. So this is going to be perhaps one of the largest ever event that involves the telecom sector, experts from telecom sector, people from all walks of life as far as the technological advancement are concerned. So India also becomes, Lipakshi, one of the most bright spots as far as the telecom sector is concerned, with the largest number of users anywhere in the world, with India being the largest country in terms of population. In the last 10 years, we have seen a rapid expansion of 5G technology across the country. People have, mobile phones almost in every part of the country that have internet facilities, that have 4G and 5G technologies, and have 5G reach as well. Perhaps, especially in Asia, India is one of the most advanced countries that has undertaken the revolution in the telecom sector, with the kind of spread that it has seen in terms of technology, in terms of reach, in terms of connectivity, that has transformed the lives of over 1 billion people, quite honestly, and this has become a case study for the rest of the world. So the Indian Mobile Congress is just taking place at a very apt location, at the heart of India, in the national capital. And the kind of participation that we are seeing is also unprecedented in these kind of conclaves and events in the telecom sector.
Yeah, India's strategic priority is very clear in next generation connectivity and global technology leadership. Thank you very much, Akshay Dongre. We look forward to the Prime Minister's participation in the event. Moving on, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's first official visit to India begins today. During his two-day visit, Starmer, along with his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi, will take stock of progress in diverse aspects of India-UK comprehensive strategic partnership in line with Vision 2035 on Thursday. Both leaders will also engage with businesses and industry leaders on opportunities presented by the India-UK Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement as a central pillar of the future India-UK economic partnership. They will also exchange views on issues of regional and global importance. The visit will build on the momentum and substance generated by the visit of Prime Minister Modi to the UK in July this year. It will provide a valuable opportunity to reaffirm the shared vision of India and the United Kingdom to build a forward-looking partnership between the two countries. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with the visiting Prime Minister of UK, Keir Starmer, will participate in the 6th edition of the Global Fintech Fest at the Geo World Centre in Mumbai on Thursday and deliver a keynote address on the occasion. Global Fintech Fest 2025 will bring together innovators, policymakers, central bankers, regulators, investors, academicians and industry leaders from around the world. The conference's central theme: Empowering Finance for a Better World, powered by AI, augmented intelligence, innovation and inclusion, highlights the convergence of technology and human insight in shaping an ethical and sustainable financial future. This year's edition is expected to attract a footfall of over 100,000 participants from more than 75 countries, making it one of the world's largest fintech gatherings. This participation underscores the Global Fintech Fest's growing stature as a global forum for financial policy dialogue and cooperation. During his visit to Mumbai, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the first phase of Navi Mumbai International Airport, built at a cost of around 19,650 crore rupees, in line with his vision of transforming India into a global aviation hub. The Navi Mumbai International Airport is India's largest greenfield airport project, developed under a PPP mode, public-private partnership, as the second international airport for the Mumbai metropolitan region. The Navi Mumbai International Airport will work in tandem with Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport to ease congestion and elevate Mumbai into the league of global multi-airport systems. The Navi Mumbai International Airport will also be the first airport in the country to be connected by water taxi. And in Mumbai, Prime Minister Modi will also inaugurate Mumbai's much-anticipated Metro Line 3, the Aqua Line, which is set to become fully operational, marking a major milestone in the city's transport infrastructure. The 33.5-kilometre corridor, developed by Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation Limited at an estimated cost of 37,276 crore rupees. It will be Mumbai's first fully underground metro line and one of the city's most ambitious urban projects to date.
Connecting the southern business district of Cuff Parade with the northern suburbs of Seeps and Array, the Aqua Line comprises 26 underground stations and one at-grade station. The new stretch adds 11 key stations including Cuff Parade, Churchgate, Hutatma Chowk, CSMT, Girgaon and Mumbai Central, linking South Mumbai's business hubs, residential areas and heritage precincts. Once fully integrated with Mumbai's expanding metro network, the line is expected to serve nearly 15 lakh passengers daily, significantly reducing travel time across the city.
If you look at the entire project which is now getting completed, and once the entire connectivity to this project is completed, almost 13 lakh passengers will travel on it per day. But to begin with, that number won't be there. Slowly it will get built up. There will be substantial reduction in the travel time from Cuff Parade to the last station, which is RAJVLR. You can travel just in 50 minutes. So that's a substantial reduction in travel time if you go by route.
Construction of the southern stretch posed considerable challenges due to South Mumbai's narrow roads, dense urban fabric and proximity to heritage structures. Despite these hurdles, the project represents a major step toward easing congestion and modernizing Mumbai's public transport network.
This particular section which is getting inaugurated day after, that actually provides connectivity to the heritage district of Mumbai, and it is passing through areas like Girgaon, Kalbadevi, Grant Road, which are very, very thickly populated. So this one line which provides very deep connectivity to South Mumbai, which is the peninsular part of the city, which otherwise has no that way public transport connectivity, it is now being provided by this line.
Mumbai commuters have welcomed the launch of the Aqua Line, saying it will greatly ease daily travel and offer a faster, more comfortable alternative to road congestion. The commute from Cuff Parade to the domestic airport will take just 45 minutes.
कफ परेड से लेके अपने महालक्ष्मी तक लोगों की वक्त को ध्यान में रखते हुए जो महाराष्ट्र सरकार ने जो ये नया कदम उठाया, जिससे नया डेवलपमेंट किया है, ये सराहनीय है।
सबके अच्छे के लिए ही है। जो अंडरग्राउंड जो पहले जो महालक्ष्मी अपना गिरगा वगैरह जो स्टेशन पे नहीं ट्रेन जब नहीं रोक रही थी, अभी हमारे लिए बहुत सहूलियत की बात है।
मेट्रो की सुविधा हो गई है, अंडरग्राउंड से पूरी हो गई है, तो उसके वजह से एयरपोर्ट जाने के लिए नज़दीक काफ़ी इजी हो गया है। तो 1 घंटे के अंदर हम यहाँ से एयरपोर्ट पहुंच सकते हैं।
Designed with commuter comfort in mind, the Aqualine offers women-only coaches, priority seating for senior citizens and persons with disabilities, as well as advanced CCTV surveillance for enhanced safety.
Mumbai is getting redefined, and commuters, passengers of all strata of societies will have an option now to leave their four-wheelers and travel smoothly in a more convenient way, and leaving the city more air to breathe. With camera person Aditya Kasare, this is Shyama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. Still to come on the show. Syrian government and the SDF approve an immediate ceasefire. France's political deadlock continues as pressure grows from Macron's own camp for him to step down. And see the stunning white architecture and historic charm of Libya's ancient city of Gaza Mess.
This week on Defense Dynamics, Pakistan feels the pressure. India's top brass delivers a unified message, from the Air Chief's confidence to Defense Minister's warning and the Army Chief's strong words on terror. India's Air Chief on 5th generation AMCA and new fighter options. And a closer look at the Army's AK-603 air defense upgrade under Mission Sudarshan Chakra. Catch it all this Wednesday at 8 PM IST only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I am Tanvi Taneja. On to the West Asian crisis now. The second day of the latest round of Gaza ceasefire talks between Hamas and Israel, mediated by Egypt and Qatar, concluded on Tuesday in the Egyptian city of Sharm el-Sheikh. The second day of this round of talks focused on key issues, including Israeli troop withdrawal routes and the release of Israelis held captive in Gaza. Hamas insisted that any release must occur simultaneously with a complete Israeli military withdrawal from the Gaza Strip and demanded international guarantees for a permanent ceasefire. Hamas has not yet responded to several conditions Israel deems essential for a comprehensive truce. Hamas spokesman Fauzi Barham said that the movement is committed to overcoming all obstacles to reach an agreement. He warned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu against attempts to obstruct or undermine this round of negotiations. Meanwhile, Egyptian mediators are intensifying efforts to help bridge differences between the two parties. Qatar, Turkey and the United States have sent delegations to Sharm el-Sheikh, with all parties scheduled to continue talks on Wednesday.
Our priority is an immediate end to the Zionist aggression and the war of extermination against the Gaza Strip. We renew our pledge to adhere to all our national rights and to defend the aspirations of our proud people for liberation, reform and independence. Believing in our national responsibility toward our people and their legitimate rights, the movement has dealt responsibly with all ceasefire proposals over the past 2 years, proposal by US President Donald Trump.
Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said that there was a real chance of a Gaza peace deal as Hamas and Israeli negotiators held indirect talks. Trump said that US negotiators were involved in the talks now taking place in Egypt.
There's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation. We want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan. Yep. I don't think there's anybody that hasn't, actually, not that I've seen.
Syrian Defense Minister Murhaf Abu Qasra and the commander of the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces, General Mazloum Abdeh, agreed to a comprehensive ceasefire on all fronts in northern and northeastern Syria. Syria's defense ministry said that the truce is effective immediately. The deal aimed to help pave the way for Kurdish-led forces that hold a quarter of Syria to merge with Damascus, along with regional Kurdish governing bodies. Separately, Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara met in Damascus on Tuesday with U.S. Special Envoy for Syria Thomas Barrack and U.S. Central Command Chief Admiral Brad Cooper. The talks, attended by Syrian Foreign Minister Assad al-Shibani, Defense Minister Abu Qasra and Intelligence Chief Hussein al-Salameh, focused on recent developments in Syria, support for the political process and efforts to bolster security and stability. U.S. President Donald Trump said that he discussed lowering tariffs on key Canadian sectors in talks with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney as part of efforts to ease trade tensions between Ottawa and Washington. Canada's Prime Minister made his second visit to the White House in 5 months on Tuesday under increasing pressure to address U.S. tariffs on steel, autos and other goods that are hurting Canada's economy. But Carney, who faced pressure at home to get a deal during his second White House visit since taking power in April, left without any firm promises that tariffs could be lifted. Trump said Carney would be very happy after their trade talks, but offered no immediate concessions on lifting steep U.S. tariffs. Trump also said that a trade deal with Canada would be comprehensive.
We don't like to compete because we sort of hurt each other when we compete. And so we have a natural conflict. It's a natural business conflict, nothing wrong with it. And I think we've come a long way over the last few months, actually, in terms of that relationship. So when it comes to trade, the United States was always giving everything. They gave everything to Canada.
And to get some perspective here, we are joined by DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh on the story. Shubhendu, Donald Trump has promised trade fairness for Canada, but has fallen short of announcing a deal. So do we have clarity as to where the trade talks between US and Canada are headed?
Hello, Tanvi. Good morning. Well, what we're learning from the sources and from the trade negotiators is that for now, there is no trade deal. What Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney visiting the United States in about 5 months. He was in the Oval Office 5 months ago in the month of May. First visit as new Prime Minister of Canada. And now he visited again with great expectations that there would be a trade deal, except for some vague references to how America is going to be fair to Canada. There is no clarity as to the direction in which this trade deal is headed. However, the fact that the trade negotiations have still been on past the August deadline that President Donald Trump had set does indicate that there appears to be a positive momentum, although no conclusion as far as Canada and US trade talks are concerned. We have to just quickly also understand, Tanvi, why it is important to talk about US and Canada trade agreement. The trade volume, if you look at last year and traditionally, upwards of $760 billion of trade that US and Canada do. That makes Canada the second largest trade partner for the United States after Mexico. Look at the trade deficit, it's not much. It's about $62 billion. It's not much as compared to the other two top trade partners for US. With China, it's upwards of nearly $300 billion of trade deficit. With Mexico, it's upwards of $170 billion of trade deficit. But what is important is that for Canada, United States is the most important export destination. About 75% of all that Canada makes goes to the United States. So the pressure that Canada is facing with around 35% of blanket trade tariff, apart from sector-specific trade tariffs on steel and minerals, that is hurting the Canadian economy significantly. In the long run, it could be even more detrimental. Therefore, the pressure was very high on Prime Minister Carney to be able to come back with something conclusive, which hasn't really happened. But it is important to see the manner in which the trade negotiations have progressed from here on. Trump, again, of course, as we were talking about earlier, putting extra pressure on Canada. Although the connect between the two leaders seemed more cordial this time as it was in the month of May when the two leaders first met.
Okay. Shubhendu, request you to stay with us as we play another facet of US-Canada bilateral talks.
The merger of Canada and the
what
United
you have
States.
created. That wasn't where it was going.
So, Shubhendu, the merger of Canada and the United States also featuring in talks, though in jest. What should we make out of it?
Well, that joke doesn't really get old for Donald Trump, does it? But it's interesting the manner in which Prime Minister Ghani responded this time as compared to how he responded in May. In May, he was quite blunt. He said very clearly, taking the joke rather seriously, as perhaps one should, because it is in reference to a sovereignty of a nation. He had said that, look, Canada is not for sale. Let's talk about the trade deal. But this time, the two leaders could have a laugh over it. Also speaks volumes in the manner in which President Donald Trump wants to convey who's the boss in the room, who has an upper hand in these trade negotiations. And for Prime Minister Ghani to just sort of take it lightly, because he now needs to focus on the real challenge, the trade deal, which must happen. There is also the US, Mexico, Canada free trade agreement, FTA, which is up for negotiation sometimes mid of next year. That too, President Trump has said has not shown any commitment for the future. So it is very important then for Canada to have this direct deal. It is now the only G7 country which is without a deal with the United States. So in that sense, pressure high on Prime Minister Ghani. And much like President Donald Trump's tariffs, his jokes are another parallel. You may not like it, but sometimes you have to laugh along.
Yes, you have to laugh along. Thank you very much, Shubhendu, for all those updates and analysis on the story. All right, still with the US, as the US government shutdown reaches its 7th day, air traffic control staffing issues are delaying flights for a second straight day at numerous American airports. More than 3,000 flights have been delayed, according to flight tracking data, as staffing shortages have impacted a widening number of airports. The FAA is reducing the number of arriving flights per hour, citing staffing issues with average delays of 41 minutes. And there are also staffing issues at Atlanta Air Route Traffic Control Center. Some 13,000 air traffic controllers and about 50,000 Transportation Security Administration officers must still turn up for work during the government shutdown, but they are not being paid. Controllers are set to receive a partial paycheck on October 14th for work performed before the shutdown. On to Europe now. French President Emmanuel Macron is under pressure, even from allies, to find a rapid solution to the political deadlock after his first Prime Minister and one-time ally urged him to resign for the sake of the country. Macron, president since 2017, has been battling the worst domestic political crisis of his presidency after the shock resignation on Monday of his 7th Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu. Macron gave Lecornu until Wednesday evening to thrash out a compromise for a sustainable coalition government, but it is far from certain that these efforts can succeed. If this fails, one option is for Macron to dissolve parliament and hold snap legislative elections in the hope of having a more workable makeup in the legislature. Macron on Tuesday evening held talks with the speakers of both the upper and lower houses of parliament, said an aide asking not to be named. The purpose of the separate meetings was not made clear, but the president is obliged to consult both speakers if new elections are planned. And next we take a look at other stories making news around the world. In southern Vietnam's Cà Mau province, a new biotech-based zero-discharge shrimp farming model is transforming aquaculture. Rated excellent by the Provincial Science Council, the system recycles wastewater, cuts costs and boosts shrimp growth, setting a sustainable example for the country's leading shrimp farming region. Libya's ancient city of Gadames, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is known as the Pearl of the Desert for its stunning white architecture and historic charm. Once a key trade hub connecting North and Sub-Saharan Africa, the city still reflects centuries of culture, faith and desert life. You're watching the India NewsHour, still to come on the show. Piyush Goyal wraps up his Qatar visit with key talks on trade, investment and strengthening India-Qatar ties. On the eve of the 93rd Air Force Day, Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh highlights strength of India's air power in Operation Sindoor. And children in the central Indian city of Bhopal learn about wildlife conservation through face painting competition.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Thank you for staying with us on DD India NewsHour. I am Tanvi Taneja. A reminder of our top stories. In a power-packed schedule for the day, Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate the 9th edition of the India Mobile Congress in New Delhi. Also to launch key projects in Mumbai, boosting infrastructural sector. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer visiting India for 2 days. Economic and security cooperation on agenda to attend 6th Global Fintech Fest in Mumbai along with Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. Impasse remains on Trump's Gaza peace plan as Hamas says it's ready to reach a deal, but conditions remain. Talks to continue on Wednesday as well. And Indian Air Force celebrates its 93 glorious years of valor and excellence. Salute to the brave hearts for their unwavering dedication and unparalleled service to the nation. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal concluded his 2-day Qatar visit with a meeting with his counterpart Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Sayed. The two sides recalled their discussions in New Delhi held in August when Minister Sayed led a large investment delegation from Qatar to India. Piyush Goyal said that India looks forward to continued engagement for increasing bilateral trade and investment ties. The Indian minister also held productive meeting with founder and MD of CDC International Khalil Boutros Al-Sholeh. The two sides discussed potential areas for joint ventures and investments to expand India's footprint in infrastructure and development projects. India's minister also addressed the Doha chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Piyush Goyal urged the chartered accountants to enhance their role in strengthening the professional services trade to further deepen India-Qatar bilateral ties. The minister also interacted with members of the Indian Business and Professionals Council. He appreciated their role in deepening India-Qatar economic relations and urged the vibrant Indian diaspora to tap into emerging opportunities, foster meaningful partnerships and showcase India's growing global strengths. The Indian Air Force is celebrating its 93rd Foundation Day today. The day commemorates the founding of the Indian Air Force in 1932 and highlights its vital role in safeguarding the nation's airspace and supporting ground operations. Since its inception, the Indian Air Force has played a crucial role in defending India, participating in all major conflicts and contributing to disaster relief and humanitarian missions. As one of the world's most modern and powerful air forces, the Indian Air Force operates a diverse fleet of fighter jets, bombers, transport aircraft, helicopters and advanced missile and radar systems. Committed to safeguarding India's airspace and national security, the Indian Air Force also plays a pivotal role in regional peace and stability. This day is also celebrated to honor the sacrifices of Indian Air Force personnel and to showcase the advancements in the country's air defense capabilities. The day is celebrated with grandeur across the nation to honor the valiant service and contributions of the Indian Air Force and its personnel. On the eve of the 93rd Air Force Day, Chief of Air Staff Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh said, Operation Sindoor showed how India's air power can deliver a firm and calibrated response to any threat against the nation.
Operation Sindoor is also a shining example of clear higher directions,
our indigenous capability, and effective cohesion and jointmanship between all defence forces. Going beyond the combat role, the Indian Air Force has always stood by the people, rescuing lives during floods and disasters and evacuating citizens from conflict zones as demonstrated during Op Sindhu and Op Brahma. The Indian Air Force has been and will continue to be the first responder to the nation's call.
The Air Chief Marshal expressed gratitude to the people, Air Force veterans and the families of those who made the supreme sacrifice for the nation.
On this proud occasion, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and respect to our esteemed air veterans whom we can never forget. As we look ahead, the Indian Air Force will continue to defend our nation's skies by enhancing its capabilities, embracing innovation and upholding highest standards of professionalism.
President of India extended a warm greetings on Indian Air Force Day. Posting on X, she wrote, and I quote her here, "Warm greetings to all air warriors, veterans and their families on Air Force Day. The Indian Air Force has always demonstrated courage, commitment and excellence. Our air warriors protect our skies and serve the nation with tireless dedication during disasters and humanitarian missions. Our Air Force has made the nation proud with its strength and readiness to face every challenge. I extend my best wishes to the Indian Air Force for success in all future endeavours." Unquote. So the Indian Air Force is celebrating its 93rd Foundation Day today. The day commemorates the founding of the Indian Air Force in 1932. And our correspondent Nandita Dagar is joining us from the Hindon base. Nandita, what are the key highlights of this year's Indian Air Force Day?
Good morning, Tanvi. As I come to you, it's a very, very lucky day because for the past 3 days it has been raining incessantly and continuously. But today the weather has held and thankfully we can witness the Air Force Day parade out in the open beneath the wonderful shining sun. And I would ask my camera person to actually pan the camera and show you how the visual looks like with all these majestic aircrafts of the Indian Air Force in the backdrop, and of course the media contingent you would be able to see, and the top officers of the Indian Air Force are now gathering. They are arriving one by one. You asked about the highlights. Of course, the highlights of this year's parade will be these majestic aircrafts which are there. There is a static display. There is no fly past of fighter jets this time, but there are vintage aircrafts of the Air Force, the Harvards and the Tiger Moths, which are the aircrafts of the 1950s and 60s. They will be, doing a fly past and it will enthrall the audience. Apart from that, we know that about 97 Air Warriors or Air Force personnel will be awarded the Distinguished Service and Gallantry medals. That is the Vayu Sena Medal for Distinguished Service, Vayu Sena Medal for Gallantry. There are 6 units or 6 departments, 6 bases. They may be base repair depots, etc. They will be awarded the Distinguished Service medals. Also, it has been a glorious year for the Air Force, Tanvi. You know what kind of decisive, punitive force that the Air Force had exerted over the Pakistani airspace. In fact, our Air Force controlled not just our skies, it actually had control over the Pakistani skies as well. And you know how decisive this proved, that brought Pakistan to the negotiating table. It actually, Pakistan came begging on its knees when our Air Force on the night, of course, after the first action of 6th or 7th of May, when it actually reduced these terrorist headquarters in Muridke and Bahawalpur to rubble. Then on the night of 9th to 10th of May, the kind of damage that they inflicted. Yes.
Yes, Nandita,
you were saying, Tanvi,
you were mentioning about the aircraft on display behind you. What about the retired MiG-21 Bison? Anything planned for that aircraft today?
Das Vidania Mikoyan Gurevich. That is Russian for bye-bye MiG-21. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it from here, but the MiG-21 actually is very well present here on the tarmac. It is very well displayed here. The tail of that MiG-21 is draped in tricolor, signifying that it has retired from service. We have bid the MiG-21 a farewell. And what 60 years, what 60 years it has served our nation, from the 1965 war with Pakistan to the 1971 war. Again, a decisive victory, a very, very emphatic victory. Look at what it did in the Kargil war, Operation Pavan, Operation Cactus, even Operation Sindoor. It was mobilized in. Of course, it was mobilized in Operation Sindoor as well. Just imagine the kind of service it has done. And can you imagine it, Tanvi, that we Indians have more flying hours on the MiG-21 than the Russians themselves? This proves, it's a war horse. It's a war horse, Indian war horse for so many years, and has served faithfully. Fighter pilots swear by the maneuverability and the weapons delivery capability of the MiG-21. It has always given us a decisive edge, and it will be a very nostalgic and very emotional moment for the pilots who have flown the MiG-21, and they'll be able to witness it here with their own eyes, along with us, of course, we lucky ones, along with the public.
Yes, of course, you are the lucky one too to see this spectacle in front of you. Thank you very much, Nandita Daga, reporting from the Hindon base. All right, more news from India. Search operations for the missing passengers continue into Wednesday as the death toll in the Himachal Pradesh's Bilaspur bus accident rose to 15, officials said. Passengers are feared trapped under the debris. The incident occurred when a private bus carrying passengers through the hilly stretch was suddenly struck by falling debris following heavy rains in the region. Local administration, police and state disaster response force teams rushed to the spot to carry out the rescue operations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep grief over the loss of lives in this landslide in Himachal Pradesh's Bilaspur and announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each for the next of the kin of the deceased. And DD India correspondent Muskan Chaudhary joins us on the phone line from Shimla. Muskan, what details are you gathering of the people still missing and also trapped under the debris?
Tanvi, this tragic accident took place near the Balu Bridge that comes under the Jhanduta subdivision of Bilaspur district last night. And the bus, it was a private bus which was buried under the heavy debris and the boulders when a massive landslide struck the area. And according to the local reports, there were 18 to 20 passengers on board in the bus at that time, and out of which the 15 people are dead and 2 injured children which were rescued last night. They have been shifted to the AIM. And according to the reports, there are few people which are still missing, and the administration and the SDRF are still on the ground and they are carrying out the rescue operation. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also expressed his grief over the Bilaspur incident, and he has announced a financial assistance of 2 lakh rupees for the families of those who have lost their lives, and a financial assistance of rupees 50,000 of people who are injured in the incident. And as I told you, the rescue operation is still being carried out, but it is being raining continuously since yesterday across the state, and in Bilaspur also it has been raining continuously. So the rescue operation is it is little hampered because of the rain. The landslide, it is still coming down, so it is difficult to carry out the operation right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Muskan Chaudhary, reporting from Shimla. Devotees at Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Katra in Jammu and Kashmir resumed their pilgrimage after heavy rains halted the yatra for 3 consecutive days. The Vaishno Devi pilgrimage has restarted after a 3-day suspension caused by heavy rain, thunderstorms and the possibility of landslides in the Trikuta Hills region. The Shrine Board officials informed that the yatra resumed smoothly and pilgrims are being allowed to proceed towards the Bhavan. Devotees expressed joy and relief as clear skies allowed them to continue their spiritual journey to the shrine, chanting Jai Mata Di as the yatra resumed. One Vihar National Park in Bhopal came alive with a toddler walk and face painting competition, offering children a fun-filled way to explore nature and learn about wildlife. The event not only encouraged creativity but also aimed to instill awareness about the importance of wildlife conservation from a young age. Still to come on DD India NewsHour. Embassy of India in Paris honoured the courage and sacrifice of Indian soldiers who laid down their lives in France and Belgium during the First World War. India's Anmol Karb and Tanya Hemant progressed to the second round of Arctic Open badminton tournament. Lakshya Sen to face Kodai Naraoka of Japan. And Japan's historic Nagasaki Kunchi Festival kicks off with colourful celebrations. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I am Tanvi Taneja. The Embassy of India in Paris organized a solemn tribute to honor the courage and sacrifice of Indian soldiers who laid down their lives in France and Belgium during the First World War. These memorials, though less known to many Indians, stand as silent witnesses to the bravery and sacrifice of Indian personnel. Let's remember their legacy through this special tribute.
This is not just another tribute ceremony in France where Indian and French officials came together to pay their respects. This is a heartfelt salute to the Indian soldiers who gave their lives on French soil during the First World War. More than 100 years ago, thousands of Indian soldiers left their homes and families to fight far away from their homeland for peace and duty. Many of them never returned, but their bravery and sacrifice live on. Embassy of India in France, along with French administration and defense officials, paid tribute to our heroes at the Indian War Memorial at Neuve-Chapelle and Villers-Guillien.
It's very important to keep the memories of their sacrifices alive. And you saw today how there are two local mayors and they brought some children with them. And I think it's very important for those children to understand the history of these wars and to understand the contribution of Indian soldiers and how they fought in a foreign land and sacrificed their lives and in the name of democracy.
In October 1914, 1st Battalion of British Indian Army landed in Western Front to support the Allied forces. Soon after arriving, they were deployed in the trenches of northern France and Belgium, where they faced some of the fiercest battles of the war. At Neuve-Chapelle, Indian soldiers fought a very tough battle in March 1915. They pushed back German forces under heavy fire. To remember the sacrifice of these soldiers, the Indian War Memorial at Neuve-Chapelle was built in 1927. It has names of more than 4,800 Indian soldiers who lost their lives but have no known graves. Each name here is a story of courage and sacrifice.
This commemoration is very important for us, and the relationship with Indian just after of the Battle of Neuve-Chapelle, and we reinforce the relationship every year, and the objective is not forget the memory of the soldiers here.
At the place called Villers-Guillien, another memorial was built in 2018 for Indian soldiers who fought in the Battle of Cambrai and nearby areas. The Indian Army's cavalry units were serving here with great courage. Among them, there were two brave soldiers who received Victoria Cross. the highest and most prestigious award for bravery in the British honour system. Rifleman Gabbar Singh Negi, who showed exceptional courage at the Battle of Navchapel, and Lance Dafadar Gobind Singh, who displayed a heroic bravery at the Battle of Cambrai. In total, 6 Indian soldiers were awarded the Victoria Cross for their bravery in France and Belgium. Adding to this legacy, the Indian Peace Garden was inaugurated as a symbol of respect and remembrance. The garden has bullet holes engraved in metal plate which representing the bravery and sacrifice of each Indian soldier. As the flag of India and France fluttered together in the breeze, the ceremony became more than a tribute. It was a promise to honor the memory of these brave soldiers and keep their legacy alive for the future generations. They came, they fought, and they sacrificed their lives for unknown soil. For years, they remain unknown and unsung. But memorials here stands as a promise that no, we haven't forgotten you. We haven't forgotten your sacrifices. We will remember you forever. This is Rohini Gosavi in France for DD India.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. Time now for some sporting action. India's young shuttlers Anmol Kharb and Tanya Hemant progressed to the women's singles second round at the Arctic Open badminton tournament on Tuesday. Anmol produced a gritty show to edge out Lin Hsiang Ti of Chinese Taipei in a 3-game marathon. Anmol will next face Wen Chi Su of Chinese Taipei. On the other hand, Tanya notched up a win over Huang Qingping. She has set up a second-round clash with Ratchanok Intanon of Thailand. In the mixed doubles, Dhruv Kapila and Tanisha Crosto outplayed France's Lucas Renaud and Camille Pognante in just 23 minutes to enter the second round. Meanwhile, India's star shuttler Lakshya Sen will begin his quest for the Arctic Open title on Wednesday. Lakshya is set to face a tough test in the first round as he will clash with 5th seed Kodai Naraoka of Japan. Heather Knight helped England narrowly avoid an upset against Bangladesh in their ICC Women's ODI World Cup group stage match on Tuesday. England's spin department restricted Bangladesh to 179 despite Shobana Mostre's spirited half-century. Sophie Eccleston was the standout bowler as she returned with figures of 3 for 24, while chasing England found themselves in a tough spot at 103 for 6 in the 30th over after skipper Nat Skyver-Brunt was dismissed for 32. Heather Knight rose to the challenge and dug deep to score a match-winning 79. Her efforts ensured England walked out of the stadium unbeaten in the tournament. Struggling Pakistan will face the invincible Australia in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup on Wednesday. Defending champions Australia hold a commanding 16-0 head-to-head record over Pakistan in the ODIs. Having lost 2 consecutive matches, Pakistan face an uphill task to find a win against an Australian batting juggernaut. Australia beat New Zealand by 89 runs in their opening game. Their second match with Sri Lanka was abandoned due to rain. Australia will look to gain momentum from this game before they face hosts India in a blockbuster match on Sunday. South Africa's ICC World Test Championship winning skipper Themba Bavuma said that he is looking forward to the all-format India tour in November. Speaking at an award function in Mumbai, Bavuma hailed the new Indian Test skipper as an exciting player and talked about India's new era of cricket. He admitted that touring India is never easy and inspiration would be taken from New Zealand's historic win over India at home last year.
Touring India is never an easy one, so, I think looking at the way New Zealand went about their business, I think was inspiring in a lot of ways. A lot of touring teams, a lot of away teams come to India and haven't been successful, and that's the biggest of cricketing nations. Shubman Gill, he's taken over the reins within the Test stuff, and I think the ODI stuff. So I think it's exciting. He's a fantastic player. He's an exciting player, and it seems as if the new era has kicked in, if I could say.
And next we take you to Western Japan, where the famous Nagasaki Kunchi Autumn Festival has begun. Celebrated for nearly 390 years, the three-day event features colorful dances, music and performances dedicated to the Suwa Shrine deity. Each participating town brings unique cultural acts, making it one of Japan's most vibrant traditional festivals.
漫才と才蔵がやってきました。
借りた化粧回しで。
よいしょ。
And with that, we end this edition of DD India NewsHour. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja. From all of us here in New Delhi, thank you for watching. Namaskar.